Asoria.
And I'm Rachel.
So during spring break, we went to Cambodia for a service trip. So today we're gonna introduce some basic facts of the families we help with. So first is the location of the family. Here is the city Siem Reap where we live, and this is the location of the family. So you can see it is 15 kilometers away from the major city, and which means there's no stores, there's no street, and there are fewer people over there.
So the family we helped is definitely one of the poorest family in the village. And the annual income of the family is about $600 to $800, which is about around about 4,000 RMB per year. And life is really hard for them.
Here are some members in the family. There are 6 members in this family, and only one male, which is who's the father of the family. Because we know that Cambodia is divided into dry season and rainy season. During the rainy season, the father is a fisherman, and during the dry season, he's a farmer. He's gonna grow some vegetables and some rice. This is the wife of this family. She's the mother. She's a full-time housewife, and they have 4 children, all girls, and their age is from 6 to 1.
And talking about how we choose their family to help, so our school is working with a non-profit organization, Volunteer Building for Cambodia, and this organization help us contact with local, and they ask the town mayor like which family need our most help, and the town mayor said this family is definitely one. Their house. Like the village provide them little piece of land in order for them to grow some vegetables and crops. When we actually get there, they actually lived in a very, very like simple straw shed, and the condition is almost, I think is kind of terrible.
And it's really hard to imagine that they sleep there, they study there, they somehow cook food there, and they invest their gas sitting in their house, just in their living place. Life is so hard for them.
I am Peter Wu, and
I'm Amy Hawk.
And both of us, we went to the Cambodia service trip, and we participated in a service project where we built a house with this group called BBC. After you see the house, you start off from the first day, we just go to a site, we see a bunch of wood and pieces of other like gadgets and tools lying around, and then the last day we see an actual physical house standing up with people in it. And it's just a really nice kind of like feeling.
It also brought us all together, I think, as far as Kwame and DAIS, DAIS and DAIS, Kwame and Kwame. I think we all got closer just sharing that moment.
I was really impressed with all of our students' hard work. I didn't really see a lot of students that just like sat out in the shade and did nothing and complained all day. Most of the people that were actually working and they were contributing to the building of the house, which was really nice.
I think a couple girls that really stood out to me a lot. Samri, Nadia, when we were working together on marking the wood beams, you girls stuck with it and you weren't afraid to get your hands dirty, especially Samri. She did an amazing job. I thought it was wonderful. And Jasmine was doing really well hammering. She was hammering much better than most of the boys.
It was fun, kind of like we made like I mentioned earlier, Mr. Perry, Sam, Jerry, and I, we were having like this competition. Like even up in the house when you started nailing things and nailing nails, hammers, we kind of made it like a competition kind of, and it was really fun. And most of the students, so like many of us were kind of like spoiled kids. We don't get to go out in the open and like actually do stuff and build stuff with our hands and get dirty and make things. And we learned new skills, like some of the kids, I'm pretty sure they learned, it was like their first time grabbing like a hammer, or like first time learning how to saw, and it was it's a valuable skill set to have as a person.
Hi, I'm Siddhartha.
I'm Timoki Otani. So we went on one of the 2 assignments for the local community. One was construction and one was teaching. and Sedona and I were teaching. And so what we did over 3 days was just provide some basic education for the kids there. Taught them songs and things like that. We painted a sign of the house.
Yeah, we got to do a little project and we painted with them, and we also helped to teach English. So for my group, we mainly focused on like learning English, and for one of the lessons we did shapes, which was a lot of fun because then we went outside and we got to point out like, oh, that's a triangle, or oh, that's a circle, and stuff like that, and it was a lot of fun.
The kids in my group, they were really excited to learn, like they were really enthusiastic about it. We taught them London Bridge is falling down, and that took us, I think, the entire 2.5 hour period, and we had about a half hour to actually run through it. So it took some adjusting too, but we eventually got it.
Yeah, it was kind of hard for me to remember everybody's names because there were so many of them. But I think one thing that really brought everyone together was the painting, because it really showed like, this is how we got together and this is the product. And I think the idea to paint it and the whole like brainstorming of we're gonna have a tree and the roots and everything, the base of the tree is going to be the teachers, and then the leaves are going to be the students, because we help the students grow and like we give them
Support.
And so like the whole idea for the tree like really not only
It's really symbolic.
Yeah, it was a symbolic thing that we wanted as like teachers, but also for them like as students as well.
So from here to the hotel is gonna be just only like 20-minute drive.
See you all at the temple. Okay, Jerry. Okay, Jerry.
I think the whole point of building a house for the family is to provide a better, safer living condition. And I hope that they will have good sleeps from now on. Most importantly, the house that we built is a symbol of our care for them. And this trip also changed me. And now I've learned skills. And the house also let me know how happy it makes me to help other people. It has made me realize that the true happiness comes from giving care to other people.
Accomplishing this building a house service project mainly changed me by providing the importance of being positive, patience, and perseverance. While we were all worked together, we had to patient and worked hard to build the house, and with sawing, hammering, chiseling, and drilling the woods. In this process, staying positive by imagining the final house we would make really helped to maintain the work hard.
So I hope that the house we built will give the family more of a sense of security, and I also hope that with this very basic need of life taken care of, the family will be able to focus on other things to improve their standard of living, such as education for the kids. And I hope that the family will be able to sleep without worrying about the rain and other natural things as things they were not protected from while living in the straw shed. And I hope that the daughter can come to an actual home from school. And this project really put things into perspective for me, and I have become more thankful for the things I used to take for granted. And it also made me return to Cambodia in the future or other less developed countries to help the less privileged. And sure, I won't be able to build a whole house for a family, but I'm sure there are ways I can help out.
I hope the house we built and the things we donated can really reduce the family's burden of make a living, and maybe they can put some extra money in education. Like for me, their eldest daughter seems really pretty and smart, so I really want her to go to school and receive some education and maybe help her family to move out the really simple little house we built for them and have a much better living. And for me, the project itself made me believe that if we want to do something, we can. I'm amazed that none of us give up because of the hotness, and like none of us went horse playing or just fool around there. We actually all worked, and because we promised that we are going to finish the house in 3 days, we did it.
I think the most important thing I learned in Cambodia is definitely a new attitude towards life. Going through Cambodia, I saw a lot of children and a lot of people, and I saw what kind of conditions they were living in, mostly very small houses without any plumbing or electricity or modern technology. So I was thinking how their attitude towards life would be before I met them, and I assumed that they would be all grumpy and everything. But then when I actually met them, I discovered that they were actually the friendliest people I've ever met. And the children we taught were really just angels. And even though they didn't have anything from their families, they were all fishermen and farmers. They had so much happiness in their lives, and they were just always having a smile on their face.
So being in Cambodia, I realized that there's a big difference between being poor and being unhappy. For example, the acrobats that we saw at the circus all were, acrobats because they came from poor families. But you could see that, to the contrary to what people might think, these people were overwhelmingly happy about what they were doing. And this goes to show that being happy and being rich aren't really the same thing.
I think the most important thing to share with my family is how money does not buy happiness. From this trip, I saw some of the happiest children in the world, even though they were really poor. It taught me that in the rich world, people always take things for granted and never really appreciate its true form and worth. They always need more and more things to satisfy themselves, and they don't appreciate the simplest things in life. In the poor world, people never take things for granted, and they're always the happiest with even the smallest acts of kindness and the simplest things in life.
Thank you.